Hey, buddy, watch this.
Hello, hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and welcome back to the Advice Arena, where of course I give you advice on playing in Arena. This is part 3 of my Skulker Rogue run, and so far we're sort of living on a prayer from a couple tough losses, but I think this deck is insanely good and has the potential to do big things. So we might have 2 losses and 1 loss away from defeat, but I still think we can string together some wins and hopefully turn this into a 7-win deck, because this deck has all the qualities necessary to make it that far. It's just bad luck and some ridiculous things have so far delayed that progress, but I think we'll win a few more games. At the very least, if this deck doesn't get 5 wins, I'll be incredibly disappointed, but I still actually think it could go to 10. This is the kind of deck that could really pull together some wins and get rolling. Our last few games, in fact, haven't even been that good as far as curve is concerned. We've came up empty on 2 drops and just made some big tempo plays in the mid game and been able to pull ahead. So this is, if you watch part 2, the last couple of games, Scarlet Crusader, Paladin Shredder have been carrying us pretty hard. So we'll keep them again just because they're so good. Man, this is no joke, the exact mulligan I think we had in the last game of this deck, or very, very close to it. Nerubian Prophet is quite good in your opening hand, of course. Pit Snake can be good even against a mage. We may be able to force him to use his hero power on turn 2, which pulls us ahead so far that, you know, if we play more minions, we could just commit him to his hero power for a very long time. So he'll have card advantage, but we can hopefully gain board advantage. So I could coin out the Scarlet Crusader here, but it's so susceptible to something like Arcane Missiles. I think I'll play the Unstable Ghoul, particularly after seeing the Direwolf Alpha. This basically means that it can do like 3 damage, so it can kill a lot of 3 drops. And it could just be awkward for him, depending on what he wants to play, just because of the way this card operates, of course. So he's coining on, or not even coining, excuse me, hero powering on turn 3. That is definitely a susceptible play. I'd like to play the Scarlet Crusader, but unfortunately, a lot of bad synergies there with the Unstable Ghoul. So I'll coin out the Shredder here. Next turn, we'll have the Nerubian Prophet and the Direwolf Alpha to play on 4. We can also hero power as needed. So I think coining the Shredder gives us the most mana flexibility in upcoming turns. So hopefully he'll play a minion here. Yeah, what do you know? So the Direwolf's pretty good, actually sets up a nice clean trade here. So let's just Direwolf and see what comes out of the Shredder. That's a solid minion, it's fine. And we'll go ahead and add in the Prophet as well. A little bad against Mind Control Tech, I guess, but it's probably not a big concern. We have the Dark Red Skulker to clean up the board. Played this over here because the taunt is most likely to die first. So, you know, this will follow in and fill that gap. I actually think the Dark Red Skulker is quite good here. We can just Skulker, trade in our Prophet, and have a pretty solid board. It's going to be susceptible to stuff like Blizzard and Flame Strike, but that's virtually always true against mages, so that's just kind of a risk you have to take. We've got some big minions here, but we could have a couple empty turns, because these are 8 and 9, and you know we have a turn 6 and 7 to get through first. So hopefully we pull something like a 5-drop, another 3-drop, some solid cards here. Because if he gets a board clear and we don't have a refill, we could be in a tough spot. Of course, if he doesn't have a board clear, we could just run over him as well. So it's honestly not a great combo for him. This is not too bad. We're going to have an awkward turn here, though. Okay, so how do we want to trade here? We may go ahead and just sack the Direwolf for the sake of a clean trade. Could also sack this, but that reduces a lot of stuff to ping territory. This guy's kind of a liability now that our board is so big. He's kind of inadvertently endangered us a little. I think I'll just run the Direwolf into here, and then the Shadow Boxer into here. Unfortunately, I have to do it in a pretty poor order, because I'd rather him not get cards. So it's going to look like we're going to lose some damage here and make some awkward trades, and that is partially accurate. But it's just the way it's got to go. This is still really bad with the unstable ghoul, so maybe I'll just play the Dredge Crusader instead. It's the same amount of damage, and this is still decent later, and this costs the same, so there's really no incentive to play the Scarlet Crusader right now. Flame Strike is sort of good, but it's not like game-winning good, so not super worried about that even. That guy's annoying, but just need like a 4-drop. Oh, that's actually even better. That will suit us just dandy. We'll leave that alive and push damage. He's really close to being dead, so even like Flame Strike here doesn't win him the game because we just hit 5 for face. So I don't think there's any reason to send minions into that when we can just win the game. Plus we have North Sea Kraken, can hit his face in ensuing turns. It's going to be really hard for him to deal with this board. And although this guy's got a scary body, you know, it does represent time in many instances because it's a heal as well for us. Flame Lance is not bad, but there's no way that that can kill the minions he needs to. It's not actually possible. Could have killed this, but we still would have had the damage. So we'll just win here. Pretty easy. Cool. He had a really bad start. That's what cost him. Turn 3 ping is pretty much impossible to recover from, I think. Ping face, let alone not even a good minion ping. All right, so we're up to 4 wins already. It's respectable territory now. We're gonna have a winning record with this deck. I guess that's really the minimum for any deck to be considered a success, is a winning record, right? But of course, still 7 wins is the threshold that we care about, at least that I care about. I hope you care about it the same. Another mage, not the same guy, is it? Nope, very close though. Alex versus Axis. We might try the same trick again with the Pit Snake. This time he'd have to actually coin it out as well. Scarlet Crusader's still pretty bad against mage. I think I'm going to pass it back and look for something more. It's a little greedy to send back a 3-drop because we could be left with some junk. But I don't know. I want to try. At the very least we have some plays. So he could coin Hero Power here, but that's, again, a sort of weak play. Argent Squire is a great answer, though. Jeez, what a great answer. We have a 3-drop that's good with the weapon, so I think I'll just go ahead and weapon instead of shivving. I was really thinking about shivving. He may have to Hero Power this, he may just trade it in. Either way, we have a decent play. We'll have to save our weapon charge, though, so... yeah, that's totally fine. We'll save the weapon here and play the Silithid Swarmer. It's going to be tough for him to deal with this, probably. We're not like ahead, but we're not behind yet, which is nice. Guy's pretty good. What should we do? Fested Tauren's not awesome against that. I guess we can actually clear his board, can't we, with Fan of Knives? The question is it worth it? We'd have a 3-1 up that can't attack. I don't feel great about having a 3-1 that can't attack, particularly when this guy is just not that good. So perhaps we just Infested Tauren and we take a little bit of face damage here just to facilitate this. Also, this has 3 attacks, so it's not like it's totally wasted. Plus, it chips him down. If he makes this clean attack, then Fan of Knives could clean up the 1 health here. So the face damage is not arbitrary in any way. It's actually important, and also has facilitated the Swarmer trade, of course. Arcane Missiles could be really good if he hits here. Oh, that's a great sign for us. Wow, he didn't even get the ping. Oh, that's so good for us. That's really unfortunate for him, though. So we have the Shiv Crusader, plus he just used Arcane Missiles, so I feel a lot better about playing the Shiv. We could try for the Flame Juggler hit, but that's sort of greedy. I think I'm going to do this instead, just because it's guaranteed. And it doesn't hurt us to gain a card, plus we have the board, so there are a handful of advantages to this play. You can't ping 2 things. This is... honestly, probably the better ping for him, because I don't think I'll be weaponing up next turn unless it's just like too appetizing, because I'd love to play the Draken and Crusher here. Oh, he got a good card. Nice. That's going to be annoying to deal with for sure. I think I'll Shadow Strike that. It could be Counterspell, though, which is kind of scary. We could Weapon Trade. We'll go down to 14 health. Can play the Dread Corsair or the... well, it's really just the Dread Corsair. If it's Dread Corsair... If it's Mirror Entity, Dread Corsair is not bad. That's a great... What a great play for 5 mana. He got like 8 mana worth of stuff, basically. The odds of it being Counterspell are pretty low, but man, it would really blow us out. Let's go ahead and try the Counterspell. We could still play a Flame Juggler. Okay, that was definitely the right decision. So we'll play this. Mirror Entity, we'll trade. Not Mirror Entity. If it's Vaporized, we'll go this way. Nope. Alright, so we actually navigated that pretty well. It's got to be like Ice Block, right? Or maybe not even Spellbinder. What could it's got to be Ice Block? It's not Duplicate, it's not Effigy, it's not Counterspell. Apparently it's Ice Block, which is probably the worst secret for him, because it doesn't help him contest the board at all. That's a card from the past. What a blast from the past that is. Nice. Betrayal's not good. Dread Corsair's not great. I want to play the Crusher, but then, I don't know, my trades get a little awkward. I guess I will, just because it's the best minion here. We can clear the Belcher and play the Crusher. It's totally fine. Did it this way to keep the most amount of stuff alive. He can still ping this guy off, but we're not weaponing up, so it's not like we've been getting a ton of value. This is the downside from this card. It could have done like 6 additional damage by now, I think. Flame Lance is a great answer to that. My board is very reactive. I need him to play stuff, and unfortunately he has all the kind of answers he needs. I'll play this and hope that we can buff it in a future turn. Just keep building my board here. I mean, we're very precarious here. If we can't keep these alive, or if we don't draw some kind of big minion, we could be in a tough spot. That's a good play, too. He's gotten some work out of these secrets, for sure. Shadowpan's great. It's not a battle cry, though, unfortunately. So killing this guy is going to be kind of annoying. I can use Betrayal, but it's just not exciting. I think I'll just trade both these in. I could Fan of Knives, but it doesn't really set up my trades much better. I can keep a 3-1 alive, but I'd have to kill a 4-4 into there. Well, let's Fan of Knives. We may make the same play, but we need to activate the combo, and it may give us a really good option as well. So it didn't give us an option here. We could Betray, but now we don't have the mana, so... we'll still... man, it just feels bad. Would I rather have a 3-1 and a 2-2 or a 4-2? I think I'd rather have a 3-1 and a 2-2. I don't know. This is definitely debatable, but... It's definitely debatable. But this is more total damage. It is ping susceptible, I guess, but... I don't know. We didn't have the Battle Cry to make that guy better anyway, so... Polymorph's pretty good, but that's going to make our Bog Creeper nuts. And, of course, you can't ping 2 things, so... Alright, this is not bad. Not bad at all. Gonna hold the Direwolf just for, like, emergency situations, plus it can do instant damage next turn anyway. I think we have 8, 9, 10, so we'll have lethal if this stuff lives. Although if he pings, we won't, so maybe we should have played it. But we would have missed the weapon charge, too, so... it's probably about the same. Probably a wash there for total damage output. Cone of Cold's good. Jeez. What a play. What a boss. Oh my gosh, this could go well or bad. Oh man, he got another good play out of Servant of Yogg-Saron. It's just not a great card normally. And he is doing work with it. So we'll have to test you, I guess, for... We don't actually have to test for Explosive Trap, do we? I think we're going to hold. If I test for Explosive Trap, it makes this more easy for him to kill. It gives us less value from it, because we can't attack with it. So let's actually just hold. The only problem with that, though, is if I load up the board, those things all take more damage from Explosive Trap. But we could have a good betrayal turn if he doesn't want to make trades. It's very... It could be snipe, though. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna... Snipe is gonna suck, but it's gonna happen eventually anyway. Explosive trap does not have to happen eventually. Okay. I feel okay about that. It's not the one. It's not Dark Trap. It's definitely explosive or freezing. If it's freezing, we'll send back the Direwolf or the excuse me, Dark Iron. If we can, anyway. If he doesn't Flame Strike or something crazy. The card's scary, but Betrayal might be very good here, depending on what he does. If he doesn't trade, Betrayal's going to be just totally insane. Okay, yeah, Betrayal's ridiculous. Should we try to play around any secrets first? If it's freezing trap, we could actually kill the Cavalier. Now let's try. If it's explosive trap, it won't matter. We're gonna freeze the Cavalier anyway, or we're actually gonna kill it anyway. So we do need to test for. Oh crap! Well, that actually disrupts my play a little bit, but we'll just freeze the Cavalier and just win the game probably. So that's fine too. This is pretty bad against Flame Strike, but every other scenario is totally fine. Bear Trap, that's not what we expected, but I'm glad we did hold until then. Yeah, Bear Trap definitely disrupted, but if it had been freezing, it wouldn't have worked because we couldn't have killed it anyway. We would have not been able to make that trade, so I guess it didn't matter. Explosive wouldn't have mattered. Bear Trap or freezing had the same outcome as far as killing the Cavalier is concerned, so... Well, freezing would have been better, but I mean, as far as our plays are concerned. So, we can definitely pop the block this turn, but I think we have to kill the Cavalier too. Do we leave this alive and just go face? Can go face. Weapon. Play a bunch of stuff. Trade this way. Yeah, I think we'll leave the Cavalier alive. I mean, it's big, but... Our board should be halfway resilient. Actually, I may just go ahead and... Either one's gonna die, so I might as well kill the guy with less attack, right? It's actually debatable if I want to run this in, but I don't think so. I think just having more... Flame Strike is the only thing this dies to, but if he Flame Strikes, he's very unlikely to have a taunt, so we can just go face with a weapon or a heal. This is just 2 cards, right? So it's 2... You'd have to have 2 incredibly specific answers. Spellbreaker doesn't win you the game. Saboteur does not win you the game. It's a pretty cool turn, but thankfully we had enough spare health here to work with. Cool. That was a tough game. That was a good deck he had. He got 2 really good Servant of Yogg-Saron's, which can go really poorly if you're not careful. So he got bailed out just a tad from those Servant of Yogg-Saron's. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's play another one. I think we're on a roll now. This is what I expected from this deck, honestly, so... I think we'll play one more game this video. This will put us up to 6 wins if we pull this one out. So we got to 5. I think that was my... I'm not gonna be super sad point for this deck. But of course, still 7 is the goal. That was a scary game. I thought we were close to losing there. Pretty precarious towards the end. Those secrets were challenging. The Ice Block was really the worst mage secret. Bear Trap was certainly not the worst hunter secret, though. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to keep these two. They're pretty good. Stable Ghoul does not necessarily have synergies with Backstab, but it is a 2-drop, so I don't think I can be that greedy. I've got the cool 3-drop here, so let's just keep this and see what happens. Backstab can do work. That's a good 4-drop. I think we're okay. Druid's always scary just because they usually have a lot of big stuff, and you never quite know how that's going to go. But we've got a good start and a good curve. This is not the best thing to just throw out on 2, but it does do 2 damage typically, and could discourage his plays depending on what he has and what it looks like. I think Backstab and Nerubian Prophet's very good here. Just allows us to preserve this guy and build a pretty big board, and we've got the 4-drop to follow up as well, so, and the 5-drop, so we're in a good spot. It's going to be very hard for him to make a play that stalls our board out. No, it's not bad. I don't think I'm going to do anything too fancy here, just clear that, and unfortunately it does put this down to 1, which endangers a lot of stuff. Oops, almost did that poorly. I could use my weapon here if I had a 2-drop, but since I don't have a 2-drop, I'm not willing to give up an entire turn to weapon to kill that and keep this at 3 health. The 2 health on this is not worth sacrificing an entire turn's worth of tempo. So again, this, I mean, like a swipe or something is pretty devastating because it would also kill the Prophet thanks to the Unstable Ghoul's Death Rattle. This thing's just not good when you're ahead on the board, unfortunately. But we still have a great hand here and got some options. It's going to be hard for us to kill big cards he plays, but anything else we should be in a good spot. And it just depends on what we draw, right? We need to make sure we find things that can keep up with the kind of giant minions that... So we'll just play the Skulker here and trade the Prophet and go face. You know, this thing is, you know, it's an AoE card, basically. It's all area of effect, but usually I think we've used it just to kill 1 minion. It's kind of like a backstab attached to a minion for us, right? Which doesn't sound good, but it's just such a positive tempo play in Arena that it works out really well. Maybe that's why Hearth Arena suggested this card, and I'm a little less down on it, because I'm not thinking of it as a backstab, I'm thinking of it as area of effect removal, which sounds limited sometimes, but when you think about it like a backstab, it starts to feel a lot better. So again, we just took 2 damage for nothing. Well, that's a pretty good play, I like it. I think since that's a 1 health dude, we'll just go ahead and play the Shredder and Hero Power. We don't need to freeze anything right now. So the Hero Power, this is definitely our best Hero Power turn yet. We've got 10 power on board, he's at 6 mana, we're in a great spot. We have the Pit Snake as well to threaten some stuff. If we get it behind a taunt, it's better, but it's actually not bad with the freeze either, because we could freeze his face to deny the Hero Power on the Pit Snake. Still susceptible to stuff like Swipe, but Swipe's not super common in Arena. It's sort of common. And, you know, he may not have it. He's had a couple pretty decent swipe turns, and we haven't seen it yet, so... Crazed Alchemist, cool. But, I don't even know if I mind that. I was probably going to Shredder anyway. Just to see what we got. So yeah, let's Shredder. Wow, good card. Sick. So I'm actually going to make exactly the play I described here. Swipe's not good anymore because it doesn't kill a lot of stuff, and it gives me a ton of armor. I'll save the weapon charge just in case we need it. There's really no incentive to hit his face. I guess we probably will have the mana next turn, but just in case we draw like a 5-drop or something. So he can't play a big minion without killing this, and we've shut out his ability to easily kill this. So he may have a very awkward feeling turn here, where he's like, I need to play 2 small things, but he only has 1, and his Hero Power is like useless. So Pit Snake here is kind of ridiculous with the Frost Elemental. Cool 7 mana combo for sure. And we don't have a lot of cards. Like, it looks like we're losing card resources here, but we have a lot of damage, and North Sea Kraken It's practically 3 cards on its own. This could just give us lethal at some point because we're going to hit his face with it. But we have 9, 10 damage on board, 11 total, so he doesn't know what to do. He can't play a big minion. He's like totally stymied right now. He has a big minion he wants to play like an Ancient of War, but he just can't. So he can't hero power. He probably doesn't have small minions. That's actually not a bad turn. I don't think that's a bad turn. Shadow Strike's going to ruin it, but it's not a bad turn at all. Could actually just hit that and trade there. Keeps more minions alive. Druid typically is not good at doing 2 damage to lots of things. Even if he did, I get a ton of armor. That would keep my Pit Snake alive. But then again, I don't know that I need my Pit Snake right now, just because we're going to be pushing a lot of damage and trying to win the game. And he'll have his hero power up, so it will forever be susceptible at that point. So let's just use the Pit Snake to kill these. There's no reason to be greedy. Alright, so there's a good chance we'll have lethal next turn with the Kraken. He could play like an Ironbark Protector. That would sort of be annoying, but we could just face tank it, use the Crusader and the Kraken, and send 8 to face, put him really low. Again, 1 card looks bad, but it's such a good card that I think we're still in a pretty favorable position. It looks like he doesn't have an obvious play here, so Naturalize is not bad. Buys him some time, but gives me more cards. He can't afford to hero power right now. Oh, what a good draw. That's probably the best outcome, actually, for that Bomb Lobber. I don't think we'll have lethal. Oh, we might now, thanks to that. What do we have? 4, 5, plus 4. I think we have exactly lethal with the North Sea Kraken, right? 3, 4, 5, plus 4 is 9. So yeah, by clearing that Divine Shield, he actually just gave us lethal. Cool. Well, we had a pretty ridiculous set of plays there. Some cool stuff is happening in the Skulker Rogue for sure. Got off to a harrowing, frightening, nightmarish start, but clearly just won 3 straight games. In fact, I think we've won maybe 5 straight games or 4. I don't remember, but nice stretch of wins regardless. But that's going to wrap it up for what is now part 3 of the Skulker Rogue. Thanks so much for watching, and stop back in for part 4. Until next time, game on.